So this morning we're working on this Ram 1500 front brakes. I believe it's a 2015, 2016. Hopefully these are the right part numbers. I'll take this front tire off and go from there. Complaint is, under heavy braking, the steering wheel wobbles and everything else, so the rotors are warped, so that's why we're doing that. And I think the caliper on the other side's locked up. You can hear it on one side grinding. All right, we got the wheel off. This one is 13. One that you need to hold it in place so the pin can undo it is 17. And then when that'll deal with the caliper and get the pads out. But then you're gonna take this bracket off to get the rotors out. And this one is 21. It's back here, should be two of them. All right, so I got the rotor off. And what I ended up doing was I left the caliper in the bracket. And the reason behind that is I could probably just do the brake pads that way rather than do extra work. So we'll see how that works out. I've never done it like that before, but it sure doesn't make a lot of sense. The other thing is I could take it apart just to lube up the pins, which are the bolts on the ends. Probably do that anyway. But yeah, if you were just trying to get it done on the side of the road or something, and your rotor broke for some reason, I don't know why it would, but anyway, just pop the two bolts out, slap this rotor out. We'll find out here shortly if all these parts are the correct ones. So the rotor looks right, at least the bolt pattern does. I'll do it on top of here. I just wanted to stop because these things come wrapped in plastic and they have this grease all over the back of them. I don't know if you can see it. It's protected so it doesn't rust on the shelf. So you just take some brake clean, spray it around in a circle or however, and then slap it all back together. So far the parts look good, so the part numbers are good so far. I haven't put the pads in yet. I'm just letting the brake quiet dry up a little bit so don't make a huge mess. But the way I do it, not the way you do it, is I only put the brake quiet where it's needed. So if you see these markings here on this one where it grabbed here on the caliper here and here, so I put those 3 spots. And then on the other pad I'll do where the pistons come out of the caliper, so one here and on this side. You don't have to lather the whole thing up. And then they didn't give us new clips, so it looks like we'll probably be using these ones. I assume they fell out of the box, or they just don't do it anymore. Another thing that's better about these brake pads that I noticed is that, well, one, these are obviously cracked, as you could tell. Still did have a little bit of life on it, but if you look, that's all your life compared to, that's what your life is. So you could have got away with it a little bit more, but the problem is the rotors that are warped, and these are cracking. These are going to fail. But if you look at these pads, they don't even go out all the way to the metal. So I would assume they're cheaper pads, or this ones you're getting all the spaghetti all the way to the end. So that's pretty cool. Would have been nice to have new clips. We'll get over it. A good indication, again, this is how I get down, not how you do it, is you're low on brake fluid. Of course the light didn't come on or nothing, but that means your caliper is pushing out brake fluid. It means your pads are low most of the time. So you really don't top off your brake fluid. When you push in your calipers, the fluid level will go up. I'll show that after. It might not go up that much, but still ain't gonna look like that. And if you tell where the full mark is supposed to be, or where she says max, she's a good, I don't know, thumb thickness away. I don't know, 3/4 of an inch. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and pop this off, and then the fluid's gonna come back this way. What I normally do is I take this off or loosen so that the air can come out, and I wrap a rag around it so it doesn't drip down on me or onto the exhaust manifold and smell nice for your customer. This is my neighbor, I guess, customer, whatever you want to call it. I call him neighbor. Alright, so I was just gonna show you how I get down, not how you get down. They sell a little tool that you can put in the caliper that pushes here, pushes from the other side. I've always used the C-clamp, not against specialty tools, but if you already have it. So anyway, what I do is I always put the old brake pad back in there to push in the calipers, pistons. This one is a dual piston, even makes more sense to do it that way, but that's it. Put it back in the slot, and as I push this in, these calipers will go in and the fluid should raise on the top. So basically you just go all the way down to even. So I got them all the way down. Should be able to tell from the other video, because that's how they are. And if you want to check earlier, you can see that the fluid should have went up too, which it did. It's definitely not a thumb away anymore. It'll probably end up at max. It's about halfway. So far it's working. Just wanted to show that these clips pop on the outside here. They actually hold them in place, so they need to be up on the outside. Originally I was thinking that these should smash down and we come to a stop, but then they really don't have any value because they could just slide out. But by them being like this, they actually hold from falling out, and this part is closed off. Alright, so the one side's done. I don't know necessarily if just doing the 2-bolt deal, it's harder to get the clips back in for the brake pads. It's harder to lift the assembly and that caliper up and get it aligned. It's all aluminum. You don't want to strip it. I don't know how much time you would save in the difference between those two. I guess if you didn't have either one of those problems like I did, then you could do it that way. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to do the other side the other way. Anyway, so this is pretty much done. I'm going to do the other side, be the same as this side. Like and subscribe. So I just wanted to show these are all cracked to hell. And, sorry. And this one even started to groove. You can see it raised up there. Started heating up this rotor and putting the line in it too. You see it there? That's the noise we were hearing. But that one's warped for sure. So I'll heat it up.